Wow. Welcome to Hat Chat episode 92. Thanks, Josh Cook, for sending that wonderful little ditty in. And I really think that summarizes what Hat Chat's all about. Taking itself seriously and just being really good in general.
Instantly
like
made me
Fingal.
think of the scene where Shrek is welcomed to like Farquaad Land or whatever, and they have all of like the different like steam and clockwork elements to it.
There's a lot of like wind instruments in there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh Cook, and welcome everyone to Hatchet episode 92. We are your hosts, me specifically. Oh, I thought you'd never ask. I'm Chris Trott.
Oh, no way. Hi, Chris Trott. My name's Ross Hornby.
Hello, and I'm Alex Smith.
Brilliant.
Nice.
And there
Nice to
we
meet you
are,
all.
three of us, here at episode 92. Would you believe that we've made it this far without one of us dying?
Jesus. Yeah, no, you're right. That was my main fear when beginning the Hat Chat.
We might not make it.
What if
To the
one of us
centennial.
dies
What
before
if?
92?
What if one of us has died, and this is actually like a double red herring, and one of us has actually been replaced this whole time
Exactly.
by a deep fake?
I like to think that if you're still alive, you're still jumping between existences where your consciousness is still alive. So you
Right.
could die in this life, but you don't even know it because your consciousness is instantly transferred to an alternate reality where you didn't die and you continue to exist. And until I
See-
die, I'll believe that. You know, until
Yeah.
I die, I haven't died yet. I'm fine.
Mm.
You know, I'm fine.
I'm still
I must be jumping
hopping
between
realities.
consciousnesses. Yeah,
There's
exactly.
any
That's a nice
key
comfort
identifiers
blanket.
to try and figure out whether you are one or the other?
It doesn't matter which one I am.
Well,
My
it does.
conscious.
I mean, one of you wouldn't run into open traffic.
Yeah, that's the one that I'm not anymore. That's the one that
So
did
you're-
run into open traffic.
He
And
did run into it. Okay.
as he did, he said, "I can't die." He shouts like, "I'm immortal."
I'm
and then
invincible.
boom,
And he's
he
like,
wakes
I am
up and he's
invincible.
like, "No, what am I doing today?"
You know an
Yeah.
exponential curve, right? Where
Yeah,
things just exponentially...
like a ski jump.
Yeah, it just gets more and more rapid. Do you think
Mhm.
the Alex Smiths of reality exponentially believe that they have multiple realities, therefore the speed at which they try to die gets exponentially shorter and shorter in their lifeline, when it ends up like you're starting off in your 34s being like, you know what,
Still 33, I think.
I now firmly believe it, and I'm going to test the theory. And then your next reality is
Wait.
like, you come to that conclusion like a year earlier, and then it exponentially gets younger and younger and younger until you're
So I'm
never
like
born.
aging backwards, and I'm like, "Why am I aging backwards? This is so weird."
No, you're
because I
not
don't
aging
remember the
backwards. You're just choosing to take the plunge much earlier in life.
So where does my consciousness go if I'm older than, like, if all the younger ones have already, worked it out and I'm the last one?
Well, Alex Smith, according to Albert Einstein, time is infinite, right? Or it's
So
everything.
there's just always another one for
Time
me to
is-
jump into.
Time is a loop.
Magic nut.
Time is a circle.
Loop.
So all existences have ever happened and will ever always happen. It's fine. Like,
So maybe
every-
I've experienced all of those existences already and decided that this was the best one.
yeah,
Seems
maybe.
like that,
I
yeah.
don't know. I don't fully understand his quote, and I didn't even quote it correctly. So
It's all in German, isn't it?
yeah, it's
Austrian,
hard to
German?
translate.
Austrian? Where's he from?
Albert Einstein.
I think he's Austrian, isn't
Man, if this was a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire
I
question,
think he's
we'd
been
German
to Austria. I
born.
think that's important.
He was
think
born
he's
in
been there.
Germany, in Ulm.
in Ulm in
Nice. If
1879.
only that could be a
yeah.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire question. Huh?
That's what it said.
Yeah, we know that now.
You know that
Now
one.
we know.
Yeah,
Ulm.
now we
Yeah.
know.
So yeah, thanks for getting straight into the time thing there, because there is a hypothetical from
Right.
our
Mhm.
patrons that
dear
is
God.
completely different from that. So here we go. Are you ready?
I don't think I am.
Which experiment would you conduct if money and ethics weren't a factor? I believe we've brought this up in a different form before. However,
Oh, you think
not
so?
in this
Probably.
So
specific
many.
context. So many experiments you could do.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't be
Loads.
charged. You wouldn't be judged even. You may even, like, not have your name to it. You just
Do
knew
you have to do
the results of the
experiment?
experiment.
Because obviously, like,
Not
I'm
necessarily.
not a doctor.
Oh yeah, it does say which experiment would you conduct. So I guess you have to, or take part.
Does this reflect on our character?
No, you're not judged.
I think. Well, you say you're not judged, but once you say it, you've said it, haven't you?
Well,
what horrendous thing do you want to do to another human to figure something else out?
Hypothetically, if someone you know really well wants to conduct this experiment, what do you think they'd do? If morals and ethics weren't a factor.
If you were looking through a window and you saw someone else doing something to someone else, but for humankind, what are they doing?
Yeah,
and
unfortunately,
why?
it's out of your control. You're bashing against the window, but you're seeing this
experiment on a
whiteboard.
That's morbidly curious right there.
Ooh,
and I wish I could intervene. I wish I could.
I mean, one of the best ones, I would say, is like messing around with embryonic stem cells. Like, we still mess around with some stem cells, but I think they're often harvested from like placenta and shit like that. But like full on designer babies would be very,
I thought you might.
That'd be very interesting. I think that we'll get there. I think that culturally it'll become accepted eventually. I think it'll start with things like we already do, like testing. Developing babies for illnesses and things like that they might have that the mother needs to know about and stuff.
What are you personally hoping to benefit from this experiment?
Just progressing the human race.
That's very
I think
nice of you. What you want wings or something, right?
Oh, you want wings? You want some wings?
I don't want to die. I mean, I still don't want to die. I detest the world every day, but I want to see how it unfucks itself, you know, if it does. I want to choose when I die because I enjoy my existence. And I don't think I'm going to experience my non-existence because of various things about, you know, being an atheist, being a
But you just talked about the multiple reality thing where you just flip between different consciousness.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be a nice idea, but I don't live my life by that concept. That's why I'm not running out into the middle of a road.
Not yet. That's just because this version of Smith hasn't quite got there yet.
But do you want to hear my really controversial one?
Oh yeah.
This is actually something I've thought about a little bit because I wanted to. I don't want to make a film, but I thought this would be my idea.
Your mate brought
this would be my idea for a film.
Okay, it's your idea.
My mate's idea for a film. It's my mate's idea for a film. It's a little bit like what style of film would you call Human Centipede or like the ones like psychological horrors?
Yeah, psychological horror. I guess it's not a rom-com. I mean, you can take it as a rom-com.
You have a character in this film that goes around abducting people, right, and imprisoning them to help them deal with their mental or physical problems. Okay,
right. So you're doing like a not a vigilante.
So I guess, it's a bit like Saw,
kind of is,
but instead
a traveling doctor.
It's a bit like Saw, but instead of reaching into a vat of needles because they're a heroin addict, you lock them in a storage crate, like a shipping crate, and then feed them just water and nutritious food, give them a bed, give them a treadmill, and don't let them out until 3 months has passed. And then see at the end of it whether they report you or not.
Right.
Because you just help
That's it. That's all the experiment is.
Yeah.
Well, you could do this in multiple things. You could do it for addiction. You could do it for physical health. You could do it for obsessive compulsive, not OCD, but you know what obsessive people are like. Like say somebody's obsessed with a celebrity or something to the point where they're weird. Just imprison them for 6 months and completely destroy them like mentally for a while to make them think that nothing's ever going to go well again. But then 3 months in, the door just opens and they step out. But the premise here is they don't you jump them. So you like nail them with like some sort of sedative, put a bag over their head, right? Chuck them in the back. So they're just walking along. They're doing this horrible shit. And then you jump them, put a bag over their head, nail them with a sedative. My mate said he'd do this. Chuck them in the back of a van, take them to your glorified hamster cage in a shipping container, lock them in there, right? And then you have everything they have for like 3 months of living healthily as a human being, right? And then there's a timer on the door that just opens at the end of 3 months. And
Like the hatch in
basically
Lost.
Yeah, and the idea would be the premise of the film is like, would that person at the end instantly go and report you and be like, Jesus Christ, I've been abducted, or would they be like, shit, I'm not addicted to heroin anymore?
I think it's a little from column A, a little from column B there, because I think they'll be annoyed about the kidnapping part.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I would be.
Here we go.
It's just not already a thing. You can get people sectioned and all sorts, like where they will get help.
Yeah,
but they won't want it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, you're kidnapping people to help them,
well,
and you're wondering
like,
if they'll report you or just be like, shake your hand and go, thank you very much.
It's like getting in shape,
terrible...
right?
Sure.
It's like getting in shape, like, which I've been trying to do for like the last 3 years, really. I did personal training for a while with Trott, and like then sort of let myself go again for a bit, and then more recently I've been trying to get fit again.
You're begging for someone to kidnap you.
I mean, ultimately not kidnap you, but if you were put into a situation where like your job is like, I don't know, working in a physical setting for 3 months, like you're probably going to get fitter. And one of the biggest challenges in getting fitter is the fight against yourself, the fight against your own mind, the fight against giving yourself that drive. And I think a lot more people than we realize would happily give up control if they knew that at the end of the process, they'd be happier with the person they are. Like, and that is my unethical dream experiment. You'll go.
I want to discuss. I want to discuss that a little bit. I'm okay with the idea of, sectioning someone that needs control back in their life where they otherwise don't have control in order to better themselves. Not too keen on the fitness regime you've got planned, which is essentially just to lock them in a room, give them food with a treadmill,
bed, food and water.
None of that covers the trauma of being kidnapped, sedated, locked in a room. There's an unrecoverable trauma there of being locked with just yourself, which I'm sure can develop some serious psychological issues. Just being on your own for months.
Look at everything, though. It's character, isn't it? It's about a test of your
character building.
It's not character building, but it's a test of your character. Everyone responds differently to different stimuli. Personally, I quite enjoy a bit of solitude now and then. Some people don't.
Like 6 months of it?
3 months, I could probably do.
Do you think there's a threat to their life at this point, or are they just kind of like, you're hoping that they just realize that they're being given healthy food and enough water and a treadmill, that they'll just crack on?
There's not much else to do.
There's not much else to do, of course. But like,
there really isn't.
I mean, there used to be like reality shows on TV called like Fat Camp or whatever, where they would literally do this, but obviously they would voluntarily go on board, and they would film it. Then you'd have a TV show.
Yeah, I don't want to film it.
This is just a lot more seedy. This is a lot more kind of like individual.
That'd be boring.
I'd say not filming it is less seedy than filming it personally, if you really think about it. You're not doing it for somebody else's entertainment.
I guess so, yeah. It's not it's not there's an entertainment factor that.
Also, it'd be boring as hell. They'd literally just have a treadmill and eating. That's it.
I don't give a shit.
No, I'm saying it's an entertainment product.
It's unethical.
No, that's what I'm saying.
What?
There's no point in filming because it's boring as hell what they're doing.
Oh, right, I see. Yeah.
Well, I want to figure out the cloning situation, human cloning.
Yeah.
And then brain transplants and how that works, so that I can get my brain in like a younger body. Okay. So that then I will always live forever.
You can't just say it in a timid way in the hopes that it feels less unethical.
What are you using?
Well,
okay.
I mean,
so
this is the thing. Obviously, you're going to have to do a lot of tests. You're going to have to get a lot of volunteers who are on board. Maybe they're like, well, let's see if this works. It probably won't work. Not for a long time. However, once that's perfected, will clone me. There'll be a small version of me. I'll wait until it gets to an adolescent. Well, maybe we can do research where it's grown to a point that it's like full size, so that my full size brain can fit in the skull properly. That's my main concern.
Is it an empty vessel then?
Why
no
right
brain?
now do you think your skull is keeping your brain confined?
Yeah, I'd like to think that it would be a brainless vessel. In reality, that's probably harder to do.
Okay, hear me out. I can help you with this. So the design a baby thing, we can get to a stage where we extrapolate that, so we can design a human body to grow without a brain. Of course, we'd have to still use real human beings to give birth to it, though. So you've got to pay a surrogate mother to give birth to an empty brain body of you that looks like you, right? And then we put the brain into that. Bam, no ethical problem I can see.
Exactly.
I'm really hung up on that little bit there that you just threw in. That you've got the technology to. to grow a human body ready for a brain transplant. You're still telling me it needs a surrogate mother.
Yeah, I'd like
to be actually naturally born as well, because I'm not. What am I? A monster?
What we could do is we could cesarean in your brain, so that you can experience being born.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
that would be
who
insane.
gets that experience?
Holy
like the
shit!
tightest log flume ever.
Yeah. Have they already done tests on like how much of the brain you can cut away before you're like dead?
Yeah, well, tests. I mean, like, you obviously had all the lobotomies that happened like 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's remove the frontal part.
I feel like
of
you
your
definitely
lobe
need the full brain, and I feel like they're not going to get. I think it's more realistic to think that you can do a brain transplant than you can transfer your memories. What do we all agree on that? Do we all think?
Wait, why wouldn't you be able to transfer your memories?
No, as in transfer your memories whilst just literally storing them somewhere and then.
As far as we're concerned,
maybe you could. Maybe that could be a thing, but
you transfer your memories over to someone.
I mean, keep it. It somewhere else, somewhere safer.
Yeah, but if you transfer your memories over, I don't think that's consciousness. I think that it forms a huge part of consciousness, but I don't think that is personally all of consciousness. I think you'd just create a copy of someone that way. I don't think you transfer anything.
That'd be an interesting thing to do, because that would be the immortal life creation. You'd be cloning yourself to then live again, but with memories that you've had your entire life, and then you're back inside your 18-year-old self. Bam.
Like fucking your 18-year-old self, or
no, that's
the brain transfer. Right.
There's an option there. While there's still an empty vessel.
That's not something I'm doing.
Still an empty vessel,
and you're a fully cognizant,
brain-dead Ross,
60-year-old man. And there's your supple 18-year-old body,
an empty-brained 18-year-old version of yourself.
And so then
the future's horrible.
Yeah, and hopefully one of you can sort out any kind of brain diseases, because that's the only thing I need to battle then.
Yeah.
In the process of transplanting,
really struggle with.
Yeah, just give a little spritz, get rid of any diseases, and then pop that into the 18-year-old body.
Flash bleach.
Windoline onto the top of the brain.
Yeah, give it a little rub down.
Oh, it's lovely and clean.
Lovely.
Fresh to go back in.
Put it in that vat of white vinegar for a bit.
Yeah.
It's great for, getting rid of smells and duvets and stuff. So great for the brain as well.
60 minutes at 180.
Marinate it. Yeah.
What would you do then, Trott?
I don't know. Honestly, we've kind of covered the eugenics basis.
No, that's the challenge.
That's the challenge,
to think of something.
Yeah, I was thinking.
You wrote the question.
We have a lot of simulations of how the climate and everything could go if we continued at a certain rate, or like how big a nuclear explosion could be based on physics and stuff. Never actually seen it.
Oh god!
Happen for
real.
A
nuclear explosion?
Like, you can see them online.
There's loads of videos of nuclear.
No, I mean like current tech.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I'm doing it more to like.
So you'd like to nuke somewhere else? Is that what you're saying?
You want to be a part of a nuke. Like, you want to be like watching.
It's more a case of. It's more to allay fears, obviously at the expense of dropping a nuke somewhere, but to be like, how bad would it be if it were to happen? How survivable is it?
I imagine that's
if
the question.
Climate change is irreversibly like 3 degrees hotter right now. Like, what happens?
Well, imagine you just spend millions on one single nuclear bomb. I imagine the people who've just finished making it are thinking that exact thing. That, God, in a way, I want to see this fucker go off, because you've just spent years of research making this complex killing machine. There is probably a big part of them that wants to see that fucker go off.
It's literally there for
how
diffusing
would
escalation.
Properly.
Yeah.
So it's but we've seen the effects of some of the nuclear bombs that
I've seen Terminator 2, yeah.
Sure. And it's pretty fucking horrific. And that's only a fraction of what they can do now. So yeah.
It's pretty unethical, right?
You're fucked up. Oh, it's pretty just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's more just like obviously like unethical. It's like saying like I want to see the biggest gun and shoot a person with it.
I don't want to see it because I'm excited by the prospect. It's more that I'm terrified of how bad it could be.
Yeah.
I'd like to know. I think it would be
morbid
good.
curiosity doesn't equal unethical. Trot, come on, give us some more.
I'm not saying it's unethical.
I want to see the polls reversed, but that's not going to happen. I want to see what happens though. I think shit will go down.
It's like the fear of the unknown is what I'm worried about. Of like, we don't know what's out there and how much devastation it could wreak, and I feel like it could, it could temper a lot of escalation if people just realize the consequences of their actions.
Oh yeah, the context and the reality of that much destruction.
And also just like let's just show people what the climate's going to be like 10 years from now at our current rate. Just
that'd be nice.
Live it. I'd like to put people in a situation or a simulation or environment where it's going to be like this based on our current data and tech. We're going to literally create a physical experience for you of what a typhoon is like, and you have to survive it. And this is like you're 10 miles out of a nuclear detonation. This is what it's going to feel like. Here we go.
What if it's just like a 6D, in the future, 6D virtual reality experience?
What if you become desensitized to it? I feel like there needs to be consequence. You need to be like scarred from radiation. You need to be fucked up from a typhoon.
That's the sixth. That's the sixth D.
That is the sixth.
3D,
oh, so that
4D.
Is okay. Nice.
5D obviously will have happened, but 6D is when you actually experience small amounts of radiation poisoning. You could drown.
I guess in a way it's really similar to Smith's put them in a box, solve their issues kind of situation, but I'm making them face. It's like Saw 6D, right? Where it's like, here's climate disaster on a global scale, and you get to experience it of how bad it's going to be if you stop investing in coal and offshore.
I'd like it as like a how they have like the villain and the hero of superhero movies these days, and it's like they almost like they're the two main characters a lot of the time now because it gives that contrast or whatever. I want to be stood next to my shipping container where I've just cured someone with heroin, and then next to me on the movie poster, I want Trott nuking somewhere, and then I'm going to stand there and be like, and I'm the bad guy, like here, the chat's like, classic nuking everyone. I've just cured one person of heroin using a prison system, and apparently I'm unethical.
There I am, a fresh, strapping young 18-year-old lad.
Fucking the shit out of your 60-year-old limp body.
Modified body to the point where it's already extremely muscular. I've done no work. I've done nothing. Yeah. I've not earned it.
So how has that happened? Like, how have they got that muscular?
Oh, that's just through stem cell research, maybe.
Oh, right. They're just building that body up.
Yeah.
Just a huge number of surgical practices as well that they've just perfected.
I mean, some people are naturally muscular. I mean, my little brother, he just naturally has muscles. He doesn't need to work for it. He just has it. And it's just like,
that's annoying, isn't it?
Code that in. Put that on me as well. Let's get big muscles. Bam. Brain transferred. I'm young, strong.
Yeah.
We can repeat the process. As long as my heart's still beating when you do it, that's fine.
I can imagine like 3 or 4 generations of Ross clone.
Before
you'd be unrecognizable.
I've just seen too much.
I would be basically different. You'd have like
by the 4th generation,
eyes.
I would imagine it would be robotics at that stage. Fourth generation robotics promised, guaranteed. Patent pending.
I can see it getting out of hand very quickly.
Yeah.
No, your original brain's fucked, so we stuck a load of electrodes in this Brussels pate, and we're going to see if that works as a brain.
We need a reset.
No. Pass me the flan.
Do you reckon there's a certain point when you have such an advanced, incredible body that your old tired brain just can't handle the upgrade, where it's just like, I don't know what to do all these 6 arms that you've just put on this new body.
Literally the inputs, you've given me too many options.
Too much to
My
do.
brain has never focused with that before, and now I'm just like got 2 arms that are flailing around, and things would have to change. But I imagine, the worst part, we're talking about the pluses of what I've had to go through to get to this stage. Obviously, we're talking about thousands of dead bodies and experiments, people's brains.
But you could use them for like
flushed down the toilet
to grow food.
Sorry,
you could use your empty bodies to grow as fertilizer to grow food.
Yeah, exactly.
So win-win.
Silver linings.
Find the niche market of selling actual meat from the bodies as well. Exactly. Like, there's going to be people out there that want to buy ethical human meat.
I think there's a cannibal market. There's a cannibal market out there.
Yeah.
They just don't want to reveal themselves because it's illegal.
Yeah, cowards.
But if they're they can pay with Bitcoin, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'll sort
who
them out.
can't? It's easy to buy.
Yeah.
I think Ross is also bringing up the fact that he was describing the late stage there where you're going to throw away bodies all the time. Nightmare.
Yeah,
you can use it as
bring it back
fertilizer.
to the ethicals. Yeah,
but like the point of where Ross is at, the ability to clone and brain transplants is going to require a tremendous amount of human trials. That's going to be pretty nasty.
Yeah. And it would have already gone through a lot of trials for animals as well, and then humans, and then many years later, I'm an old man waiting for my young bod. So, yeah.
What if you could like raise your young bod, like as in you could sculpt them as a young human,
like a
child, like being a father, and then. I mean, this is another great premise for a film.
It is already.
I like the brainless angle, but maybe they would have to have brains to begin with. That's the reality. Because they're trying to breed. They're making. We've said this before about chickens with no brains, just so that they don't have feelings. It's just a big old moving bag of meat. That's basically what I'm trying to create, and then plug in the brain.
Frankenstein. Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah, I will be the monster.
No, that's pretty cool.
Who lives forever.
I like it. That sounds interesting.
It's not psychologically damaging whatsoever.
I like it. I'm in.
So you want to live a long time as well then? Because some people are like, I don't want to live a long time anyway. And I'm just like, why not?
I mean, if I could perfect this, I think that would be quite a mission.
This?
But no, I mean, if I was, if I had a mundane office job or something, maybe I would be like, bring me the end. So I don't know.
That's true, actually. I guess it's your life defense.
But no, I'm in a lab making bodies for myself to eventually transfer my brain.
I feel
also, just think about like how badass you could be about like, you could go and do stuff without fear of your own life because you've just got a replacement at home, Just as long as you've got like an ejection system in your brain. Like you just press a button and it fires your brain out on a jetpack.
Fires my brains out, seals it in like a sous vide pack. And then it flies home so it stays fresh. Yeah. There's a time limit on that.
Yeah. Doesn't travel well.
No, maybe I could create also a second heart by harvesting the hearts of all the dead humans.
Exactly. You got spare parts.
And just always have a spare pumping heart in my backpack, which is powered by a pacemaker or something.
Yeah, like a Chinook.
Okay, things to think about.
Like a Chinook.
With two rotors, there's just a fallback. Yeah, I'm totally in for that. I think you'd also have to involve people you care about in the experiment. As in, it's kind of suck.
You need to know they're gonna remember things.
Yeah, and also you're going to be permanently 18 years old. They're going to age around you. I feel like you need a whole group of people similarly non-aging.
Like a dynasty almost, isn't it?
Yeah.
At that point, or rather a single.
Of course.
Generation.
Well, yeah. Once you've managed to do it to yourself, you can get everyone else involved.
Yeah, but you want it first,
young pods as well,
and then start charging for it. And then the people with the most money get it, and then all the billionaires are immortals, and we serve them in some sort of weird feudal system where you pledge your allegiance to one billionaire, and then you get the meta stamp on your forehead like a Jafar, and you're good to go.
You've been stamped for approval.
Whereas Smith is on the ground, out of this utopia, just trying to shove people into boxes
trying to help people,
fix their problems. He's just trying to help people.
It just becomes, if anything, he's saving them from me.
Yeah.
And here I am trying to nuke everyone.
He's just like,
I just want to know what it's like.
Yeah. Following models of simulation desperately until they're as real as possible. I just want to know what it feels like on my skin.
Well, anyway, that was a great patron question. Yeah. And it was way past the halfway point. So you have to find a point in there to squeeze an ad in. Yeah. Sorry about that. Weirdly injected ad back there.
Yeah.
That's on you, actually, audience. You didn't let us know that it was the halfway point. We got carried away. Do we want to move on to funny news, or do we want to explore a second hypothetical?
A mix of funny news, which we could cover. I mean, Smith's got a thing straight away, which
that's true.
It's an interesting product.
Go on, then.
More than
talking of dystopia,
news, I suppose. Yeah, go on, mate.
This face mask thing is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just quickly polling chat to see if they'd like to be cured in a shipping container.
Oh, right. You're planning it now. You're getting a...
I'll find that out one sec.
Testing if there's any clientele
have a look
out
at this thing, Ross. Have a look at this thing.
Yeah. So this is a product. We have to describe it. So it's a set of headphones. Picture some over-ear headphones.
Big,
and now
bulky
picture
ones.
a band that goes around your mouth and nose that connects from the earphones. So it's like you've got two sets of headbands, one over your head, one over your mouth. But the one over your mouth is delivering fresh, clean air to your nostrils and mouth. This is a product from Dyson, which is the air purifying headphones with active noise cancelling, I'll point out, of course.
There's a whole thing on there.
You want to worry about that.
There's a whole thing on this. So originally these are noise cancelling headphones. So these are meant to be like their equivalent of the Bose. This is also the first time they've gone into like audio wear. And this is their sort of take on the Bose noise cancelling headphones. But then they also thought, fuck it. I mean, they've been doing this since 2016. So this is pre-pandemic. They were looking at what ways can we purify air, which wasn't unusual. There were people making masks and things for cycling in the city because of how bad the air can be. But the thing is, we got those bloody ridiculous masks from Razer that were just absurd, really loud because they had these
little
fans whirring the whole time in them, and they just make you look bizarre. Now this thing makes you look a little bit like, what was VR Rangers? Was it? What was the Power Rangers knockoff? We are VR. Remember that thing?
No, I don't.
No.
I mean,
Google
like
VR Rangers.
Almost,
and VR Troopers. Sorry, not Rangers. That's how they changed it. They changed it from Rangers to Troopers. VR Troopers. Now you look ridiculous in these things, and I don't see people using them. And also because it's Dyson, I bet these things are going to cost a ton. The only chance of this getting used en masse is for actual genuine need, as in for people who are like, Jesus Christ, I cannot breathe in my city.
Smoggy cities, maybe.
What are you going to sound like through this thing is what I want to know.
Hello, I would like to purchase some groceries.
Well, you sound fine because it doesn't. No, it does. It doesn't seal around your mouth. That's the benefit of this. So obviously,
but it is
with
blocking
masks,
your mouth, so it's like this.
Well, it's a
Hello.
visual barrier.
Yeah, there's a barrier. It'll be hard to read your lips, which everyone does use it to
There's also
understand
this
each
noise.
other.
Hello.
So, the thing is, there's a lot of people saying it's April Fool's. It might be an April Fool's, but it was announced a few days ago, wasn't it?
I got an email
April
about
Fool's
it
today,
from
by the way.
Dyson because I've got a vacuum of theirs, which I could easily turn into a pair of headphones. So I don't even need this thing. I got it on the 30th.
Okay.
So I mean, if they were doing an April Fool's, they should do it.
Yeah.
They should do it on April 1st, really.
Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, the thing is, it's not an absurd product that can actually exist.
No, it's not out of the realms of reality.
Because obviously, we've actually, like you said, there's a Razer product that's kind of similar, which is about
it's not
filtration of obviously COVID-19.
This though, I don't know why they went away from.
That.
I'm looking at one of their earlier designs in 2016. That is something I could definitely wear on my head. So imagine like
have Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Imagine World War II like radio operators kind of headphones, but with like a pipe on one side that goes to like a massive extension on the left ear, like an extra ear cup essentially on the left side, with a massive a plumbing tube essentially that goes to your mouth on one side. That is something I could wear out and about. I don't know why they deviated from that design.
Beep boop, beep boop. I am Chris Bott. Is that what you'd be like?
I think I'd like to. Yeah.
I will say, if you're going to announce any products around April 1st, you really, I don't think you should. Not things that look so absurd, and you're wanting to actually sell an idea that's probably quite hard to sell to people.
Yeah,
it's going to be expensive. Let's be honest, because I mean, the headphones alone are probably going to be expensive just for that. Let alone a device that.
What do you reckon? 500 quid at least?
I don't know. I mean, how much is the hairdryer they did? Because I mean, that's quite expensive for a hairdryer, isn't it? I don't know.
Oh God, yeah, they're so expensive. Everything they do is just like
So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they started at like 500 just as a base price. But Jesus, it looks silly, and hopefully the headphone quality is as good as competitors at similar price ranges. But,
that's it in use right there.
There you go. It's a real product.
So cool and good.
Yeah.
Maybe
I'll try
wear them on the tube.
I don't think I'd want to. I don't think I'd have. I don't have the balls to wear that out and about.
No, I struggle with my own brain with the Razer Zephyr, whatever it's called. Like, you
I
know,
didn't wear
fuck
that
it.
anyway,
It
mate,
doesn't matter what people think. I'm safe. And then I hype myself up. I'll turn down the RGBs. I'll turn down the fan. Fuck it. I'm just going to Pets at Home. I don't need to worry about. And I just instantly like, no, I'm putting on the fabric mask. I don't want to be seen with this.
And
I wish
mean,
I had that.
We can go into whether that's good or bad or whatever, but that is the reality on the ground, right? Like that is what people will do behavior-wise, and you can't just create these products that do these things. And I mean, maybe they're just using it to make people talk about their company again. But
they'll
I mean,
pay like 1 million celebrities to wear it, and then suddenly it'll be like, oh, it's really cool, weird, just like weird-looking Beats headphones and stuff. And I don't know, it might be a big thing. Who fucking knows? But it's an interesting product, and
James Dyson had a big hand in supporting the Brexit campaign, and then once we left the EU, they moved production overseas. Nice. So eat shit, James Dyson.
Stay classy.
Stay really classy. Just
sons of bitches.
What's the worst April Fool's pranks that you've seen before? I'm struggling to remember them. I've got a few that have come up.
The worst in terms of like, God's sakes, this is stupid. Or ones that are like so close to being real and then you're disappointed it's not real.
Yeah. Oh, right, yeah.
Because that's the alternative. Is like, World of Warcraft used to do this all the time. And they used to release some really good April Fools where you forget sometimes that it's April 1st and they announce like a whole new class and stuff and they have a real cool splash page and it's like, oh my god, they're introducing this. It's like, it's April Fools. None of that's getting in the game. I was like, oh, that actually kind of sounded kind of fun.
Yeah.
Sure, some of it was a bit jokey, but
well, I imagine it's almost a good testing bed to see if these outlandish product designs from concepts are accepted by the public in any way.
Yeah,
I mean, it'd be an interesting
definitely.
way to do it.
It's like testing the waters, isn't it?
Yeah,
maybe that's why Dyson did it.
Let's make it like that Xbox fridge. It was a dumb idea, but they made it in the end because social media ran with it.
You got to lean into that meme.
Yeah.
Lean on meme.
There was some today which are pretty dumb, really just shit jokes. Like Anand Deck did one, which was just a Toon coin. They announced a fucking crypto joke coin called Toon Coin. Grand Designs made announcements saying they're going to change their program to bland designs, which isn't even fucking. What is that? And if anything, that could be a genuinely interesting idea. You know,
like who can make the most plain-looking house?
I think so. Yeah,
Barrett Homes.
Certainly a one-off. Barrett Homes, yeah.
So we've come to this place where they're throwing up houses literally as cheap as possible. It's all rendered on the outside. No, I don't know whether that's Barrett Homes or not.
Yeah. But I wonder if times are too sensitive now for any major pranks. You know, there's wars going on. COVID is still kind of, it's only just really, we've done the 2 years of that. I don't know.
That's Bo
Things are
Burnham put
sensitive
it.
for big jokes.
Does anybody want to hear a joke anymore? I don't know. You know, like I can't remember what the actual line was now, but you know, he's talking about comedy.
There's one which. Go
on. Well, all right.
Oh, there's a prank that nearly led to a war.
Yeah, that's what I was literally going to say.
Is that what you just saw? Yeah.
Israeli intelligence officer played an April Fool's prank involving fake news that an Islamic leader had been seriously wounded in an assassination attempt. No, not really. The news caused an immediate flare-up in tensions in the region, and the high-ranking prankster was court-martialed. Christ. April Fools!
Yeah, there's all sorts. There's like, UFO ones as well. An article claiming a UFO had landed near the town of Jaffa in Jordan.
Okay.
Their response was to evacuate 13,000 people. And then they were facing a potential lawsuit after making that joke. Meant to entertain, not scare people. Imagine then, if anything, it's fair play to the mayor for making that immediate response. I don't think any of our governments would ever make a response that quick to start evacuating people. If that was announced, it would take fucking days and to go, oh yeah, there's something.
We have to judge whether we should close offices or just have a few casualties in the favor of money.
Yeah, but most of these pranks are awful. It's terrible.
Yeah, they were.
That's what we don't do. We don't bother with them. I mean, we did want to a while back. Well, maybe we should do a funny little prank, and I just think we found the idea a bit shit.
April Fool's is just a little bit for me.
Yeah.
I'm just, I don't like being pranked that much.
Yeah.
But Burger King did a good
Yeah,
one.
no, I'm the same. I'm the same.
What was
I'm
Burger
just like,
King's?
Burger King offered a left-handed burger, and apparently the influx of people that wanted a left-handed burger was like through the roof. A left-handed Whopper. It's
Fuck's
like
sake. A left-handed Whopper. And people wanted it. Would you go for that? I mean, you're left-handed. You would have loved it.
yeah, I can't wait. Like the fact that it's just all kind of rightist swinging food, it just pisses me off.
mhm.
When are the lefties going to get their sustenance, you know?
I know, yeah. There's actually an article here which was sent in by Kenny Tran.
Yes.
Which the title got me. It said Rampage as topless man staggered across A9, screamed at sheep and peed on child in car.
My God.
So this guy went on a bizarre rampage where he was just staggering topless and urinated on a 9-year-old boy in May last year. I'm not sure if that's like
Just a little
was an
addiction.
accident or like a crime of like assault of like I'm going to piss on you, which I don't know if that's common. That's a common assault of like, I mean, if I was pissing like against a tree and one of you walked near me and I turned and got you, does that class as assault?
It is if we wanted it to, yeah.
We could
Well,
Well, I mean,
sway
it's,
the
it's probably
narrative.
it's actually probably counts as battery because assault is causing the victim to fear the application of unlawful violence.
Right.
Battery is unlawful touching. So essentially, assault doesn't need any form of physical connection, but others do. But yeah, essentially, if you pissed on someone, yeah, they'd have recourse to see you criminally prosecuted.
What if you're
Same with
pissing?
water super soakers?
Be difficult to argue. I don't know. Be
That's a
difficult.
gun.
Maybe. I mean, maybe. Yeah. If,
That's the
again,
thing.
if you genuinely feared that you were going to be hurt and you can prove that, then yes, that's assault.
Okay.
Okay. But what if I'm like got a strong flow and I'm arcing it and it's hitting you, but I'm shouting, I'm not touching you, I'm not touching you. It's just piss. It's water.
Once it leaves my body, it's not.
It's
Yeah,
just
I'm
not
not-
part of me anymore.
I'd say, hold on, let me find a cup.
Right.
I'm
Why-
not drinking your piss, and then I would shout back, "I'm not drinking your piss. It's water." And then I would
Just
just
you're just
down
drinking
the
the
cup.
piss. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
This is
Well,
a
don't have
very
a middleman,
weird
just
scenario
open
to
your
walk-
mouth.
And
I'll
I'm
arc it.
watching. I'm
Ross
not
is
watching him
there
piss. I'm not
stuffing-
watching him drink the piss. I was just
Push the
walking
AAA
past.
down his pee hole.
I'm just filming.
He's just
You
filming.
would be a
I'm just filming.
witness.
He shouts, "I'm
Yeah.
just filming."
I'm just filming. This isn't a sex thing.
You have to pick a side though. Like, who would
Yeah.
you defend in that
The
scenario?
PO or the PE.
I mean, I don't think it's really. I mean, it's disgusting that he wants to drink it.
That's on him, right?
That's
gross.
entirely up to him. That's
Kink
like you've
shaming.
not told him to drink.
Kink
I'm not
shaming.
saying-
That's a hate crime.
It's disgusting to watch you drink piss.
Kink shaming is a hate crime.
I'm just trying to arc a piss
Yeah. Well,
in
what
nature.
about farting on a cake? That would be disgusting as well. Happy birthday.
No.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
What
I'm
if
not
I
having that
farted
cake.
directly into Trot's mouth?
Oh,
Would
well,
that be
that's
assault?
bantery.
that's a good
battery.
point. Is that assault? I mean,
Yeah, probably.
he's not touched you. He's made perfectly sure that he's not physically touching you. Gas has left the body,
Yeah.
and your mouth was there. I'm guessing you was asleep. I can't imagine this scenario where he's like open mouth.
No,
waiting
he
so
assaulted me.
far.
He pinned me to a sofa, then fired to my mouth.
Has that happened?
I
feel
think
like
you're
that's happened
changing
before.
the recollection of events, Trot.
Has this happened in
Well,
real life?
this is
feel like
how I
this has
can
happened.
make you an assaulter.
I think we were really, really hyped up as like 15 or 16-year-olds.
It's happened.
And I'd had a really horrible egg baguette the day before, and my farts were coming out, and they were just literally smelling of egg. And I said, and then I can't remember what happened, but I remember I was stood up, and Trot was sat down on the sofa, and I was like, "Good God, my farts are absolutely horrific."
Yeah.
And then Trot was like, "Fart in my mouth," and like kind of hilarious,
I don't remember it being that way.
on those lines. It was like a very "Oh, I bet you can't fart in my mouth." And then I just sort of did it and ran up and just went, and then it was.
I'm wondering
pretty
if
close.
that's the narrative you
So glad
formed
you
for
followed
yourself to.
It was through trousers, and it wasn't like a seal.
It happened.
He
It
didn't
was
form
real.
a seal around.
Well, You've run up to us before when you have farts in the
Full
office.
seal.
And you've done like 360 farts.
Yeah. Impressed everyone in the room.
You're like, and then you're like, oh, for fuck's sake. But is that assault? Like, I mean, could you do that to someone in a coffee shop and then they could potentially have a case against you? Maybe put them off their coffee and therefore they are owed a coffee.
It's all about whether you can convince a magistrate or a crown court or a jury of something. Ultimately, if you can convince a policeman or a police person that they need to be arrested, and then if you can then force that through a court somehow, like, I mean, yes, all the answers to all these things is potentially, but likelihood of getting a policeman to arrest somebody because they farted in a coffee shop, pretty low.
Close to their mouth is what we're saying. So you're farting, but you're close to their mouth, open mouth. They were about to eat a muffin, maybe. Right. Open mouth, and then you went.
You fart on the muffin. The muffin actually holds the scent really well because of its like porous material.
Gone into the muffin.
Yeah, so, I've impregnated the muffin with gas. Yeah.
In summary, that news article that was sent to us. We're agreeing that
this article, by the way, I haven't even read the article. As in, like, we haven't read it out. Like that, I was just literally more curious of whether it's assault to piss on someone.
Well, you did read it out. It was just like he was
caught topless.
I mean, it's mostly the headline, isn't it? I mean,
there's nothing else to it. He peed on a 9-year-old, and we've through deduction and power of our logical thought, have deduced that that's a bad thing.
Yes.
Well, a number of motorists swerved out of their way to avoid striking him before he ended up in a field, haranguing an innocent flock of sheep.
What the hell?
I know someone who will remain nameless who pissed off a bridge and hit a police car.
Oh.
I know that person.
And
very well.
So it can happen. They pissed off
That's not me.
They pissed off a bridge, hit a police car, then the police came up, arrested them, and they spent a night in a cell. They were a bit drunk as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it definitely can happen. It's just all about circumstances, Ross. So make sure that you got a great story and a great reason.
Yeah.
I can't control myself.
This guy was like literally banging on the windows and then urinated through the open door.
Mental.
I mean, that's definitely like
an assault.
Sexual assault. Yeah.
It would be. His knob's out.
Yeah.
That guy's on a register.
Yeah.
He's got to be.
That's fucked up. Now
it's all about
funny.
circumstance as well.
Now the funny's gone.
If you ever hear a person say stuff
in
like,
your mouth, that's funny.
Yeah, that's hilarious. We all laughed. If you ever hear people say like, "Oh man, they've made misgendering someone a hate crime now. Does that mean I'm going to get arrested?" Like I've had conversations with people like this before where they're just like, "Oh yeah, but now that's a hate crime. Like if I get somebody's pronoun wrong, the police are going to be knocking on my door," and like they're not. It's all about the circumstance. Like, that law exists because people are persecuted, and there needs to be legal recourse for people who require legal recourse. You know, like if you accidentally do something, it's open up to the police. It's up to the courts to interpret that law and apply it in the best possible way in terms of what's good for society, what's good for you, all that sort of stuff. Like there's a lot of all this is coming from my experiences. I've got several friends that are policemen, and I did a A-level in law, so I'm not that learned on this. But you do need to remember, like people aren't out to get you. They're not trying to slam you.
Gone away with saying like horrible racist shit just because it's I don't know why that's not considered hate crime. You would imagine it would be.
Yeah.
But when you see the vitriol online and elsewhere on viral videos of people going nuts, they don't get much against them. So
yeah. I mean, fuck knows why people like do this or like to do this. I mean, I guess it's all misunderstanding. Well, not misunderstandings, just like fucking complex layers on complex layers. I don't want to try and sum it up now, but yeah, I mean, of course, not all laws. I'm talking mainly about the UK here. My experience with the police in the UK has been my experience. Yours may differ. You might have different reasons, but it does annoy me when some people are like, "That's the law, and that's going to be what it's going to be like, and you're going to be punished like this." It's like, well, I think there at least are some good people in the legal system that are trying to do like, best sense, like what makes the most sense here. I hope, because otherwise we really are.
Well, it's on paper here, so it has to happen. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I think the important things you need to ask your police officer friends would be that if you farted in their mouth there and then, what could they do on a legal ground?
And then if they don't give me a straight answer, I just start unbuckling.
I think that's it. Yeah, because I think it makes a difference whether your ass is out or whether you have jeans on. Because obviously, if your ass is out,
yeah.
that's the crime.
Yeah.
But if you've got the jeans on and you're farting as close to their face as reasonably possible, is it a crime?
Yeah.
Does it depend on the bridge as to whether it's a crime to piss off of it or not?
The piss of it.
Because if, for example, you can get those nature bridges where it allows animals to cross over highways. Or if I'm just pissing onto that, because that's technically pissing into nature.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah.
I just want to know where I stand.
I think it really depends on
really.
who has also seen you piss or been
Yeah.
pissed on by you, and then is willing to go further to take it to an extra level.
Are
Where
you
it's going to take a lot
causing-
more time out of their day too, and you know, so what's it really worth?
And equally,
They're just-
different police forces and different local authorities will focus on different things. Like, say, for example, there's been a huge spate of people pissing off bridges in Bristol, all by this one guy. Then, of course, they're probably going to try and crack down on it. Local constabularies will be like, right, we've had a problem with this. Like, it really depends. Like, it's like in Bristol and like.
And the thing is, like, I think you can
ways
avoid
they do
indecent
shit.
exposure quite easily by attaching a tube to the end of your penis.
Yeah.
And then just
Or a
poking that
sock.
tube out of, or a sock, but something that would carry the piss out, so that your actual body is never exposed. This is something we could try. We could try going out publicly pissing.
It's all good
on
to know.
people
I'm glad we
and just
brought this
find
up.
that out through
Like a shiwi, but like
yeah,
for
like a
guy.
shiwi, just like a and then we could just blast people with piss and then avoid any kind of.
What about
fine
filling Ziploc
or
bags
being
with piss and firing them using a wild sling into
Piss bombs?
Yeah, yeah. Not bombs. They're not going to explode. They're just bags of piss that happen to be
bags.
sailing through the sky.
Piss bags that are loosely tied, so they will explode on impact.
There's lots
and
of piss-based
splatter.
things we could do.
There's a lot of piss. We haven't
very
really ever
creative when it
explored
comes to
these, and I
piss.
feel like we haven't done enough.
Yeah, there's a whole new niche just opened up for ourselves, so we could get carried away with it. But unfortunately, this is basically the end of the Hat Chat podcast. Down the
Thanks,
piss.
Eric Zane live for that 25 piss raiders we just had. Then we had people raiding us and with piss. With piss bags.
Talking about pee. Thank you for listening to the Hat Chat podcast. If you'd like to join us live, just like Smith then, interacting live with our Twitch audience, then join us on twitch.tv/hatfilms. Otherwise, big thanks to our Patreon supporters for supporting us weekly. Patreon.com/hatfilms. You keep this Hat Chat going, and it's much appreciated for your support. So thank you for doing that. And if you got a finger or anything, or some funny news like was it Kenny Tran?
That was Kenny Tran, yeah.
Kenny Tran sent quite a few in.
So if you do find some obscure news, because I don't think I saw that one pop up before, but it really certainly create a talking point at least.
Yeah.
Of what we should be aware of.
We've had a few
on people in public.
Exactly. We've answered a few questions today. Also, we've had a few good singles that have come through that we haven't played yet. So if you sent one through recently that was really good, don't worry, we'll probably get to it. And if Trott hasn't found it, I'll send it to him.
Yes.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciated. Nice.
That's all right.
On that note, then, we'll end it there, and we'll see you all next week for some more Hat Chat. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.